Henry, what would you like to learn from today's session?
Just like a fine, like just like a coming up with like a good way improve my communications, network with people, and also being able to make a pitch in a compelling manner. Yeah, I mean, as an engineer, it's not something that I like regularly practice, but it's something. But especially if I'm going to going to like, going to be an entrepreneur, I ought to be able to sell make a pitch for services and products that I want to sell.
Got it. Yeah, well, I was an engineer too at some point, many, many years ago. And it's quite a different mindset, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just being able to strike up like a conversation is just like a little bit. It's a little nerve wracking. I was just yeah like 3 weeks ago I was like at a networking event and then I was like I like knew what I wanted to I knew what I wanted to sell and pitch, but then with people with amount of people around, it was like so nerve wracking.
Yeah, you may want to speak closer to the microphone,
Oh,
just a little bit of
oh
coaching
yeah.
for you, okay?
Okay.
Hey, I totally understand. There was a time, believe it or not, I couldn't even lead silent prayer with three people, and I came from Catholic school.
Mhm.
And, I'll tell you something. Most of the reasons why people who are shy or nervous about networking have not, the reality is your concerns are mostly unfounded. You probably know that, but knowing
Yeah.
that doesn't help you much, right?
Hmm.
But I'll tell you, I'll expose you to a couple of things like in the area of what you don't know that you don't know that might give you a lot more encouragement. Okay. That I can promise you in good faith because I've done this with, thousands of people. I'm actually by nature an introvert myself. Actually, I'm more technically probably more like an ambivert. And you know, selling has, in my experience, very, very little to do with personality.
Mm.
It has to do more with an X factor. I'm going to go over that. Okay. I'm going to go a couple of X, Y, Z factors. I'm not trying to be weird about it. I'm just
Oh,
really,
I totally
really,
understand. Like,
yeah.
uh, yeah, I just like look at my niece and I just realize, oh yeah, she's got the X factor. But then,
She might lose it as they
oh,
grow up, and that's kind of like what happens because I don't know any kids. Well, some kids who grew up with a lot of trauma and they kind of start out life kind of very quiet and
mhm,
suppressed. But most kids are not really quite suppressed. They're very quite expressed. And
mhm,
then things happen, and then over time, our box is so big, right? When we first, are born, and then that box gets smaller and smaller, smaller until you feel like you can't really say much at all.
mhm.
And part of the trick is to not be too concerned about the box because, frankly, the people listening to you when they listen to your sales pitch don't really care about your box. Guess what they
Mhm.
care about?
They care about
Their
their
box.
box. Oh
And
yeah.
that when I realized that, all my nervousness disappeared. What
Mm.
replaced it was a genuine desire to serve people because I find I can do that.
Yeah.
Then I realized selling is really about serving, which you don't really have to conclude or believe in necessarily. But if you adopt it as a starting point, your selling would become a lot easier. So welcome. Good to have you here.
Yeah.
Now that I've
I
got
mean,
you gripping the side of your seat in anticipation, welcome. Good to have you here. Okay.
yeah.
And
I mean,
welcome all the rest of you
it's
as
one thing
well.
to it's one thing to know that intellectually. Well,
Yeah.
it's one, but then it's another thing to actually practice it.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm going to talk from that kind of place today. Because, when you stop thinking about what you're doing in the world of sales, and you come from a different place, which is more natural, then, well, selling is just about really helping someone else figure out what they want, which means your problems and your issues with yourself, whatever they are, disappear, you know?
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be like the real impetus of doing a sales, but you have the opportunity to really um, not be so entangled in what you're usually entangled with. Like most of what people worry about in sales presentations, completely unnecessary, I promise you. Okay. But again, welcome those of you and welcome again, Henry. Great to have you here. We're going to talk more in a more structured way, but it's also have an opportunity for a Q&A in about 15 or 20 minutes. Welcome back, Nelly. Welcome back, Diane. Great to have you guys here. And we'll include people as they join us, and let's get going in our presentation. So I'm going to do a short presentation. The presentation is designed just to get kind of help you guys wrap your head around some of the primary tenets of what I want to talk about. And then we'll do, in about 20 minutes, hopefully less, we'll get to a Q&A. The Q&A is where the real meat of your education here is going to land. And this education is not what you will find typically in a lot of other sales courses, I guarantee you, because I do it from more of an experiential way to teach you as best as I can from real life examples and really working with some of you, whoever wants to work with me, to genuinely have a breakthrough today in your ability to sell and engage with people. Okay, so I invite you to participate, especially in the Q&A. If you have questions that come up, questions and comments that are pertinent to the presentation, feel free to put it in the chat box. Please, no networking, just out of kindness and concern to everybody else. Just restrict it to the presentation, please. So today's intentions for today, we're going to go over why your current messaging may not be working. So, Henry, in your case, you're starting out. I tell you the best way to start out in sales is to figure out what you're going to sell and why it should make a difference for other people. Because if you don't have that last part, if you just start selling something without understanding why it will make a difference for someone else, you're probably going to have a hard time in sales. And it'd be like most 90% of people get into sales, it becomes a chore. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about why prospects stall. Like you have a healthy conversation with someone, you think, boy, they're so interested in buying, and then they don't buy. And they tell, the standard three words are, I need to think about it. Well, that's four. I need to think about it. Or I need to talk to my wife about it or my spouse. So why do prospects stall in the exact conversation flow that will help them make clear decisions without pressure? Thirdly, how to build genuine sales confidence. What are the factors that do that? It's not going to be a specific section. When you look at all the points that I make, it'll start building a case for you to have genuine sales confidence without having to put on any airs or without trying to be someone that you're not. Okay, and then we'll do a Q&A, and then I'm going to actually offer a discovery session at no charge for those who are interested. We also have a sales workshop coming at the end of this month, which I'm really proud of. It's turned out some great alumni who've made a big difference in their ability to sell in I would easily call a breakthrough level of confidence. So that's on August 29th and the 30th. And if I have time, if it's relevant to all of you, we'll share that as well. A little bit about me, and I promise you we'll get into content. Okay, so I've mentored actually more like tens of thousands of entrepreneurs since 1991. Individual one-on-one coaching, workshops, big conferences, big breakout rooms and conferences. Founder of a 200,000 plus member global entrepreneur community. Some of you came from this community on Meetup. Some of you came from Alignable or LinkedIn. Welcome to all of you. The founder and CEO of the Global Small Business School. You can find out more about that at globalsmallbusinessschool.com. Author of 2 books published on Amazon and 2 more on the way. Pretty well in demand speaker, corporate trainer. I've made a difference in the world of poverty and the climate. Work in those areas as well. These are some of the places I've spoken at. If any of you are interested in developing a speaking career, I think it's a really good idea. Even if you think you're shy, speakers tend to make way more money per unit time. Just a few testimonials here from previous clients I've worked with. Some of you who are in the coaching world might know Charlotte Jacobs. She does trainings all over the world. She trains literally hundreds of thousands of people, probably in the last 20 years. And I was her first coach. I promised her I would triple her income in 90 days. Didn't take me too much to make that promise in full integrity because I just had to look at what she had, do some tweaks, and no, she credits a lot of her success in what I've taught her. Uh, this is another client of mine, Christy Williford. She had a breakthrough in her ability to charge more. Some of you may be grappling with, why can't I charge more money without any guilt? And, Christy is just an ordinary, everyday kind of woman with some extraordinary abilities. But she's ordinary like a lot of human beings. They're concerned about how much they charge and they don't want to overcharge. And we'll be talking about those who are interested in having a breakthrough in that, certainly interested in having that conversation with you in the Q&A. This is the former CEO of Meetup. I've done a lot of trainings with him and for the Meetup community, sales and ability to build audiences. If you want to find out more about me, you can go to sunilbhaskaran.com. And there's like tons of testimonials, almost 200 plus testimonials, and more information there. All right, so who's this webinar for? You're skilled at what you do, but struggle to communicate your value, whether you're starting out or experienced as a salesperson or a business person. You tend to undercharge because you're not sure how to ask for more. Your sales conversations may feel awkward or pushy from time to time. And you want practical tools, not just theory. So before I get into the training, I want to give you a little bit of basis in, a little bit of theory about knowledge, domains of knowledge. Now, one domain of knowledge, which is represented by this quadrant here in yellow, is the area what you know that you know. So you know that you know English, big deal. Then there's this area what you know that you don't know. So you know that you don't know how to speak Swahili, for example. So that's in the area of what you know that you don't know. And most people, they have a choice when you have what you know that you don't know. You either move it into what you know by learning it or you ignore it, right? But then there's this other area, kind of a small area, maybe it might be bigger for some of you, of what you don't know that you know, which is in the domain of intuition. So you can kind of feel things in your body, but you can't quite articulate how you feel when you meet certain people. You can get a sense of them, or in certain situations, you have a gut experience or gut level experience of the situation or a heart level experience. So it comes from intuition. But most of what I'm going to be talking about today is what you don't know that you don't know. So it's kind of like you have a blind spot and you're not aware of it. So if you go into a car for your first time ever and you're never not really accustomed to your car, as you drive it, you might discover that you have a blind spot in your mirror. But you didn't know to ask or to find or look for that blind spot unless someone points it out to you. So that's kind of like in the area of what you don't know that you don't know. Before you rode a bike, you never knew what balance in a bike felt like. You kind of had to get on a bike and discover it. So a lot of what you don't know that you don't know comes from your experience. It doesn't come linearly because it's not something you can learn. You can't learn how to ride a bike from reading a book. Right? You kind of got to get on a bike and experience it. Same thing about falling in love. You don't know what you really don't know that you don't know what it feels like to fall in love until you actually are in love, right? You can read about it again, but it's really quite different when you have the direct experience. And most breakthroughs occur in this large blue area here, which is almost indeterminate because you really don't know how big it is because you don't know that you don't know how big it is. You have no idea, right? So this is the area of breakthroughs, usually because breakthroughs occur when you have an opening into this world and you suddenly realize what your blind spots are. And if you have an idea of where your blind spots are, you actually have a fighting chance to overcome the blind spots or resolve them or have them go away. So inside of that, I just want you to really start grappling with this world of selling. Most people, when they come to me, they think they need a website. Just talked to another prospective client before I came on this webinar. And, really smart woman, but she felt like she had to have a website. And she'd been working on her website for the last 3 years. And she hasn't sold a thing. And, a lot of advice. She's actually gone through several websites, but really no movement forward. And, honestly, for most of you, I would say, unless you're already really doing well in sales, it might be a different case for you. There are only two things you need structurally in your sales. One is a well-written offer. And I mean a well-written offer. And then the second thing you need is the skills to present the offer effectively and gracefully. So the people I know who are most effective in sales definitely have these two areas covered really well. A well-written offer, and I'm going to go over that, what that means, and then how to present the offer effectively and gracefully. I'm going to go over that too. Okay. Now, as you hear this, you want to start mapping this onto your world and your experience. Like, what's missing in your written? Do you even have a written offer? What's missing in your presentation? What are kind of results you've been producing? What do you think is missing? What do you think is off? And start inquiring into that. Okay. So let's dive into this. So why your message is not working? When you create a written offer, and I really encourage you to create a written offer, because if you don't have a written offer, you don't really have a shop front. You don't have something you can sell and that you can refine as you go along. You have to be able to refine it. Most people carry their offer in their head, but you really want to write your offer down. And there are a couple of sections to an offer. The main section in the offer is the 4 to 6 things that are going to be different in your client's future. So you want to, most people make the mistake of describing how they provide the service, which usually puts people to sleep. I'll repeat it again for the hard of hearing. Most people write down in their sales offer how they provide the service. So if they're a financial advisor, they'll describe all the practices, all the things that they do, the hours that they spend with you, working through various processes and various things. But what people really want to hear is how is your service going to make a difference in their future? So I'm going to do some examples here pretty soon, but I want you to start thinking about this. Like, what are the things that you do in your business that makes the future different or better for your client or prospective client? The second thing is your offer doesn't adequately show, or it's not compelling enough what you're showing, how their future emotional state will change in a positive way. So are you going to provide some kind of relief for them? Relief from some kind of problem or issue or stressful thing? Are you going to provide joy for them? Are you a coach that helps them move from, not being able to date to being married and happy, right? Or being able to move from being not confident in being able to get a relationship to being very confident in their relationship, right? This third point here about moral intelligence, people like to buy from people who share their values. So, your values may be integrity or being responsible, or you may have a value called, it's important to have health and well-being or healthy relationships. You may have certain values that resonate with your clientele. So are these values reflected in your offer? Uh, the last part is social intelligence. This is becoming more and more important these days because especially those of you who are providing services, a lot of people, when they come to you, they like to be in a community of your other clients. They like to be in a community that they belong to, even if it's just for business or if it's just for their personal life. They like to meet and discuss with other people while you're perhaps working with everybody in a group setting. Doesn't have to be like it, just could be just a community that you provide. And that's what I call social intelligence. So if you have any questions about any of these, please let me know in the chat, or we'll get to the Q&A here pretty quickly, okay? Some examples here. So example one, a dating coach. So, the result you could promise, and this is written as one of the things that people get out of working with you. It's a 10% improvement in your ability to get dates every month. So it's kind of specific. You can always put a contingency on this, contingent on you being coachable and doing the homework and all that. You can always put contingencies so you protect yourself. The experience could be, or the emotional experience could be, feel genuinely confident approaching someone you find attractive. So in 3 months, I promise you that. Example number two is a financial advisor. Now, I know as a financial advisor, you may have certain rules about what you can promise, but these are just examples here. So the result could be increase your retirement savings by $50,000 within 12 months. But the emotional experience could be sleeping soundly at night, knowing your financial future is secure. So you're selling them an experience there, right? If you're a parenting coach, a breakthrough in your ability or your level of confidence in guiding your team through difficult times. Reducing family arguments by 70% within 30 days. So you want to start looking like, these are things that are in their future that they want from you. Now, these are examples. You may have some different ones by the time you're done with your copy. But again, these are examples meant to illustrate what I'm trying to talk about here. Okay. Example number four, if you're a marketing consultant, your client will feel excited about their marketing instead of overwhelmed and confused. Another example could be you generate 5 qualified leads per week consistently. So if you're a career coach, you want to look and see what are these results or experiences that you can provide, you can promise. And again, I'm happy to interact with you in the Q&A to help you refine these, okay? So now, I really invite you to participate in the Q&A because those of you who are looking to sell, you got to really practice engaging in the dialogue. You can't afford to hide out. Now, it's up to you whether you hide out or not. I can't stop you. You're going to do whatever you do anyway. But my invitation to you is to really stretch yourself. Come out. Even if you can't articulate the question, come on the Q&A. It's going to start pretty soon here. And, I'll help you craft the question. Okay. So, all right. The think about it problem. Why prospects stall? So, the reason why people usually balk at buying right away or moving forward with you is because they really, frankly, don't see how you're going to move them from where they're at right now, to where they want to go in a simple to understand manner. So, what's usually missing in those kinds of conversations is you haven't spent enough time to find out, just point number three here in the slide, find out where they're at right now. So tell me, Joanna, what are you currently challenged by? What is your current objective? If you find out their objective, where they want to go, and what they're facing as a challenge right now, then you got part of the equation. Secondly, like you say, you want to find out where they want to go. It's point number four. It's a destination. Then you want to show them 3 or 4 steps to get there, but not the whole how-to detail. A lot of people spend so much time in the details because they're trying to convince somebody to work with them. But that's a mistake. You just want to show them sufficiently in a 30,000-foot view. What are the 3 steps getting from where they're at to where they want to go? And that's all they need to start out with. Now they'll probably have more detailed questions later on, but you got to show them the path to the future. If you don't, then what happens is they're confused because they really come and they can't even articulate this because they don't even know that they don't even know this. But they really are trying to find out, get clear where they're at right now, where they want to go, and how you can help them get there. So you got to do that job for them. That's your job as a salesperson or someone creating a partnership with them paid. preferably. So you got to ask them where they're at. What's your current challenges? Where you're at? Tell me a little bit about your business. What are you stuck by? What are you lacking confidence in? Tell me more about that. You got to dive into the art and science of asking questions so you figure out where they're at. Then find out where do you want to go and try and get as many details as you can out of that. And then show them the 3 steps to get there. And that is a good starting point. They may have more questions, but that's a really good, because now they have a map of how they can work with you. If you don't have that map, it's kind of hard for them to really figure out if they want to work with you or not. Okay. So, what does this methodology I just described do? Well, it leaves people at choice in the matter because now they understand how it works, understand what it costs, they understand some of the logistic, how often you meet, etc. Then the only thing they have to do is to choose. So you give them enough information to choose, they will choose. And usually the choice is yes or no. Uh, you know, if it's maybe, then you probably haven't done the work you need to do to make sure you understand where they're at, where they want to go, and explain sufficiently how they can get there. So I like getting no's up front because, it's interesting when people say no up front, there's an opportunity to find out what they really need that I missed in explaining to them. And when they tell me that, I have an opportunity to describe, hey, listen, I think I didn't describe this well enough. Let me address your concern about and why you said no, right? Or you might discover, you know what, my service really doesn't do that. I bet I should really think about redesigning my service so I address that point. But all that is very useful information in driving your business forward, right? So typically, if you do this right, the only concerns are usually how they're going to pay you, not the money or the time, but really how they're going to pay you and how they're going to work out the time issues if they have any, you know? And that's what I call a really cool sales process. It's like really easy, straightforward. For most people, it's about a 15 to 20-minute conversation. Doesn't have to be too long. One point here I want to present to you is point number 5, which is, don't create problems where they do not exist. So if people don't say they have a money issue, don't bring it in. Don't say things like, "Oh, I know this is expensive for you," when you don't even know that. I've seen too many people bring concerns that are not real, and then they make it a concern now for their prospective client. So you don't want to do that. You want to really pay more attention to listening to people. You want to consider that people, if they're actually already sitting down and listening to you, they have some interest in working with you. So your job is to find out really this whole area, what you don't know that you don't know about your client. So you want to discover this. This comes from listening and asking questions. So you want to really generate the art and science of asking questions and draw people out so they engage with you. And the more they engage with you, the more they're talking, the more likely you are to make a sale. Okay. Building genuine sales confidence. The first rule is never start with selling. So a lot of people make the mistake, they assume that just because someone's going to meet with you, that they're already ready to buy or that they're very confident about buying from you. So true confidence really comes from the ability to listen and take your time with people. Listening keenly for what they really want, where they want to go, where they're at right now, and then listening keenly if your steps and how your steps will help them get from where they are now to where they want to go. People are mostly focused on themselves, not on your confidence. Your confidence or your level of confidence may be an issue for you, but seriously, it's not much of an issue for them. They see confidence when they see how you're focusing more on what they need. So you don't necessarily have to be a, show off confidence and dress well and all that kind of stuff. It's important to dress well, obviously, and show some confidence, but it's more important that you show your confidence by being secure in your ability to ask the important critical questions that nobody else will ask. So you want to be unafraid of asking the questions that are pertinent, that are almost right in front of you, but you're afraid to ask. Some of you may be in sales conversations, you can almost feel yourself like, man, I want to ask this question of this person who I know wants to buy, but man, I'm afraid of asking a question because I'm afraid I might scare her off or him off. And that's the kind of stuff you want to pay attention to because that has nothing to do with the client. It has to do with you. So you have to kind of work through that. And that's part of what I do with my clients is help them work through that stuff so that when they come to a sales conversation, their radar is 100% on the client and not on themselves. It's a horrible thing if you have your radar pointing to yourself. You want to have your radar detecting what your client needs more than anything else. Or else you're going to be selling to them pretending, well, you're going to actually be selling to yourself pretending that you're selling to them, which is probably not a good idea. So confidence also comes from practicing. The more you engage in practicing, that's why I encourage people to come on the Q&A and talk and share. Because when you do that, that's really where the rubber meets the road. It's just like riding a bike. You cannot learn to ride a bike from the pavement sitting on it and watching other people ride a bike. You kind of got to jump on the bike and do it. It's the same kind of process. Okay, so my invitation is to engage. So, some of you may be thinking, boy, I really want to talk to Sunil and dive deeper into some of the concerns I have. So, I'm offering this Joyful Sales Magic Discovery session. And this is not a sales session, okay? My intention is to serve you and to find out how I can help you. And so we will talk about how to resolve your concerns around sales. I'm going to listen keenly to what you need. I'm going to listen probably more than what you expect because I have a happy habit of discovering what you don't know that you don't know, but you tend to betray because I listen for your languaging of how you word certain things, and that tells me what your true concerns are and what your blocks may be. And I can help you address those. Then I'll show you a pathway to more sales and then breakthrough sales if you're interested in breakthrough sales. And only if you're a match or you're interested will I talk about my sales workshop that fits what you need in your budget. Okay. And so before I go into the Q&A, actually, why don't we do the Q&A first? So I'm going to give you all a written exercise. I want you guys to write your answers to these questions. Now, some of you may have done this before, but I invite you to do it again. So write down the answers to your questions, okay? And I invite you to really write it down. Don't do it in your head. Do it, actually write it down because you want to practice writing stuff down. You can write it in the chat box too. That's fine. But the question number one is, what is your number one objective for sales now? What is your goal? Try to make that specific. How many clients do you want? How much money do you want to bring in? If you're starting out in business or you're looking to start out in business, what is the number one objective? Maybe it's a learning objective. What is the number one thing that will give you the confidence to start the business in sales? Question number two, what is your number one challenge or block? What is blocking you, thwarting you, or throwing you off track? Or you have an internal conflict. You believe one thing, but you think that sales is about another thing. So you have a conflict in values, maybe. Maybe some of you don't want to be thought of as greedy, and that becomes an impediment because then you don't ask for money. Question number three is what is working about your current sales? And question number four is what is not working about your current marketing or sales? So, what is the gap you're looking to close or be more effective in being more effective in your sales and marketing? I'm going to give you an opportunity in like less than a minute to write down your answers to these questions. First question is what is your number one objective? Second question is what's your number one challenge? Third question is what's working right now in your sales? Fourth question is what's not working? Okay. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that. If you have questions, raise your hands. I'll be happy to interact with you and help you do this. Anybody with questions?
All right. What was the third question again? Sorry.
The third question is what's working in your sales? And the fourth question is what's not working? So in your case, what do you think may not be working? Well, what do you think may be your blocks? And the fourth question is what are the things that are in your favor? It's the fourth question.
Okay.
Questions? Again, I invite you to interact with me. If you can't formulate your question, just put your hand. So everybody practice this. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. All right, Nelly.
It's just a practice.
Oh, no, no, no. What's your question? You ought
I
to
don't
have a
have one.
question.
I'm just practicing raising my hand.
What's your number one block?
Me, I'm my number one block.
What is that? You got to be more specific because,
I keep myself busy doing other things so that I don't have to sell. And that's not good.
yeah. So what do you do in lieu of selling? Yeah, this is very common, by the way.
I talk around my program. I haven't cemented my offer. So I'm behind the eight ball here.
Okay, that's what you haven't done.
Yes. And
So,
so
yeah,
nothing's working because I'm not doing it.
okay. If you were to look at this, do you think it's a fear?
Could have been.
Okay. Or do you think it's in the domain of something you're guilty about or feel guilty about?
No,
Okay.
I don't feel guilty about what I'm offering.
So it's probably
It's
something that, yeah,
it's like insurance. Nobody thinks they need it
they don't need what you sell.
until I show them why they need it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's like a big concern for you. So it kind of paralyzes you to even do an offer because what's the point of writing an offer if they're not going to buy anything? So that's kind of crazy, isn't it, if you really think about it?
it is, but there's got to be a way around it.
Yeah, well, part of it is because you haven't really quite dug deeper into it. So one way to dig deeper into this game is to ask yourself what it is that you're avoiding. So there's something that you're avoiding. And this is for everyone here, by the way. You're not the only one. In fact, almost everyone who works with me in a sales workshop has this is in the domain of what you don't know that you don't know. Ooh. But once you know it, boy, all heaven breaks open. Hell will break loose for a while, but heaven will break open. So what do look, because it may be the first intuitive response, like something that you're avoiding kind of dealing with, like you're afraid to almost confront it.
I'm avoiding their rejection of my idea.
Very good. So you're avoiding being rejected. Yeah. So you want to just let that sit for a while and just think about this because you're avoiding like being rejected in order to have what? You're avoiding something in order to have what in your mind, right? And it's not logical, by the way.
No,
Almost.
so they still like me until I
Very
give a
good.
reason not to.
Very good. So you may be avoiding their rejection in an effort to maintain your relationship with them or that they still like you, perhaps. You want to really pay attention to this, Nelly, because you have a breakthrough waiting to come for you here, and
Yeah.
it's really right
Uh,
there around the corner, I promise you. Okay.
Thank you.
And the rest of you may want to pay attention to this because you may find yourself, although you have different situation from Nelly, but you're a human being, and all human beings kind of have the same thing, unless you're a psychopath or a sociopath, in which case you wouldn't care. In which case, probably people won't have anything to do with you anyway. But if you're a normal human, which I'm sure you are, most people have this thing, but they avoid X. in order to have Y. Your X is avoiding the rejection, probably in order to have Y, which is to so you're not thought of as something. What is that something?
It's oh, here she comes again.
Yeah, the pesky.
Yeah. Why can't she be quiet? We don't want to hear her.
We don't want to hear her, so you don't want to be thought of as the
Used car salesman.
overbearing car salesman,
Yeah.
right? And uh, hey, just to support Nelly here, if Diane and Henry, if you can just put in the chat box if you have the similar issue, just chat it in, okay? If you don't mind. And so chat it in, Henry and Diane, if you chat in if you have the same issue. If you don't, that's fine. But most people, almost 99% of the world has that. They don't
Yes.
want to be thought of as overbearing, right? And they kind of leave it there. So, you want to look at this mechanism because you can start to get the craziness of it, which is, how we are as human beings. We're all crazy, you know. So you're uh, avoiding the rejection in order to be not thought of as overbearing. And how can you imagine someone trying to sell with that
Yeah.
context?
No, you can't. How can you be successful when you think that way?
You would be paralyzed.
Yeah, which
So,
I am.
which you are. Yeah. So
Yeah.
even saying that sometimes doesn't help you much, does it? Yeah. Henry, you had something to say?
Yeah. I mean, like that's how I like when I'm like at like networking events. Like I mean, like yeah, like at networking events. That's like how I. It's like how I'm feeling. Like just like feeling, just trying to, trying to like connect with people. Just like a trying to understand people. But then like halfway through, like I psych myself out, and then and then like that just like blocks me from like actually like truly like listening.
Yeah. So you are avoiding something in the networking event in order to be thought of in some way, right? So
Yeah.
what do you think what do you think you're avoiding? Just to be clear, I think you said it, but I just want to clarify it for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to like, I don't want to come across as like too pushy, and at the same time, I don't want to like feel like I don't want to like waste people's time, and I don't want to like come across as foolish.
Yeah, so you're trying to avoid being foolish or abrasive in some way in
Hmm.
order to not waste their time and be in that kind of like in their good graces, is I think what I'm hearing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like a bit of like people pleasing kind of factors into this.
Okay, very good. So people pleasing. And you notice how effective you are in networking events with that.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
yeah,
not very
it's
effective.
kind of like yeah, just let it I'm sorry. What do you see inside of that, if anything?
I think like I kind of like what ends up happening is like I'm either like deer in the headlights trying to listen, and then or I'm just like monologuing, like giving like a pitch without like truly understanding like uh potential clients.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a way out of this.
Mhm.
And the way out of this there are a couple of ways. Okay. One is um, it's more like see 99% of selling effectively.
Mhm.
And you know this because you've seen your niece do it very well.
Oh yeah,
And she does it naturally because she has no past, you see, like you do. Not yet.
yeah,
Give it a
yeah.
while. Give it a while. Okay.
I'm to some extent I'm trying to like protect her from like losing that X factor, you
Yeah,
know.
you're a great
Yeah.
uncle. I am like that with my nephews for sure.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, and you can't really protect her too much, actually, because at some point it happens to all human beings, okay? But the
Yeah.
thing you want to
Uh,
notice is that you're doing this out of an honorable intention to not cause any stir up with people. See, you notice Nelly, and you have this honorable intention to have this why success, which is, hey, I don't want to be aggressive. I want to be thought of as well, which is an honorable intention. But you have a crazy avoidance thing that actually doesn't allow for that success to happen because they don't get to know you. Follow?
yeah. Yeah.
Because you're
It's like
spending, yeah,
I'm trying to present like a false image of like who I am when like to
yeah,
like protect people from like.
yeah. It's kind of it's your honest intention, and therefore, but the way about it is not very effective because your attention is all in trying to avoid something. It's kind of like don't think of a pink elephant. Don't think of a pink.
Yeah,
Hey, whatever you do, Henry, do
of
not think of a
course,
pink elephant. What do you just think of?
a pink elephant.
Yeah, some people say unicorn, but it's the same context. They're stuck in a box called not abrasive, abrasive, not guilty, guilty, not greedy, greedy. However
Uh,
you look at it, it's still a box. So you
hmm.
see, the more you focus on what you're trying to avoid, the less successful you're going to get. Now,
Oh, I see.
that's the trick. You see, this is the domain of what people call ontology, the study of being. It's not psychology. That's why people don't get trained in this. I wish there was more ontological training, which I provide. One of the few people who do in the world. And you see, who you're being is someone avoiding being
Hmm.
thought of in a certain way. So you may have heard the adage, be, do, have. Out of who you're being, you get actions commensurate with who you're being, which gives you the results. So if you're being someone who avoids being thought of in a certain way, you'll do actions like trying to figure out what to say that's right. And then you get in your head, and that's what you have. You get in your head. Instead of having their attention,
Okay.
you have your own attention.
Uh,
Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah.
Be, do, have.
I,
If you get
okay.
this, then you see, all you really have to do is be someone who has that honorable intention. See, I like
Hmm.
being nice. Sometimes being nice doesn't work because the 13th century meaning of nice meant to be foolish. Oh, he's nice. So you let people off the hook.
Oh, I see.
See? But there are times when I intentionally be nice. There's a certain aunt who cannot cook for nuts, but she keeps inviting me for dinner. I'm always nice about it. Kunyama, it's just what I call her. Okay, I'll come for dinner. But in my mind, I'm going, oh my God,
Again, do I have to?
do I have to? But I go. And then
That's
the
very
result I
nice.
have is I stay up all night because I can't digest my food, you know? And so be, do, have. Now, I could have been kind and straight and compassionate and told my aunt, hey, listen, can you lay off some of the spices? Because it kind of affects me. I really love being with you, but I got to say, sometimes your cooking is a little spicy. Can you make it a little, tone it down a little bit? That would have been more effective. So it would have been a different way of being there, right? Being straight but compassionate. Very different from being nice and letting people off the hook. Very different world. Similarly, for you, if you were being someone who truly had someone else's interests at heart, then you would be being that, and your actions would be asking questions that would intrigue them. You see how this works?
Uh-huh.
So you see, it's very powerful what I'm just sharing with you because it's an easy way to shift. Even if you're in your head, you can go, you know what, man, hey guys, I've been in my head. I need to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Hey, Joanna, tell me more about that thing that stops you in your reporting to your boss. Because I think I can help you, but I want to understand a few things. So, why is that a problem? Why is that a problem, actually? what does it cost you? And how urgent is it to solve that problem? See, those are attention-getting questions because they don't get asked that a lot. You follow?
Yeah.
Now, you want to take a page out of my how I'm being here. You notice I don't have to think through this. In
Hmm.
fact, my coach used to tell me, hey, Sunil, leave your brain and your brain is fine, but leave your brain and your worries at home. Take a break from your worries. Go to a networking event. Have a blast, but make sure you ask questions. Be someone who's curious. And I go, thank you, sir.
Mm.
You shift your way of being, the entire world shifts, literally, because the people you engage with also shift. People who are
Right.
charismatic naturally kind of understand this intuitively. Your
Oh yeah.
niece probably knows this, but she can't articulate it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes sense because like she has a lot more years ahead of her, and for her like her glasses is like just beginning to be like poured into.
Well, all of you had that at some point.
Yeah.
No baby I was born is born with sales fright,
Hmm.
as far as I can tell. Then at some point, something happened and you felt like you couldn't really say XYZ.
Mm.
Ooh, your parents went down on you. How dare you say something like that? That's very rude.
Yep.
So your box went from here to a little bit smaller. Then the next time it happened, it went even smaller and smaller and smaller until you settle on this. And then you said, oh, okay, my parents like me now. So this is a good place for me to settle on.
Oh, yeah. At some point, at some point in some form or way, I was like punished for like a curiosity,
Not
maybe.
necessarily. A lot of times you punished yourself.
Uh,
Sometimes the parent didn't even have to do anything,
mhm.
you know. So it's like we make up crazy stuff
Mm.
and then we think it's real. And sometimes the parent did something,
It
parent
is hard
can
to
do
say
something.
once. It could have
And
been in the
if you just
classroom.
joined us, please mute yourself. Thank you. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, so you guys are seeing something in this, Diane. Hopefully you're seeing something as well. And Jeff, if you just joined us, you kind of joined us late, but that's all right. We're in the Q&A right now. So, so what you tend to avoid in sales, if you're avoiding being thought of as greedy or over rambunctious or too dedicated to your sales and making money, but with the honest intent of creating service for people, you're going to succeed in the first part, but you're going to fail in the second. So what you want to start looking is shifting your way of being to the second, which is really where you want to be, which is being of service. And I just said, being part is being of service instead of being someone avoiding something, which gives you the actions, which is asking questions. So the next question may be, what is the art and science of asking good questions? Now that takes a bit of training. If you come to my workshop, you'll learn a lot more about the art and science of asking questions. Now, you don't want to be annoying and just keep asking questions. There's a lot of listening you want to do too. But when you listen and you ask questions, suddenly people start looking at you going, oh, that's a good question. I've never been asked that before. That should be a big sign for you because that's in the area what they don't know that you just exposed for them. You just did a great service for them because that's an area they're stuck in and they didn't even know they were stuck in. You all follow? This is how you engage people. Now, most people would try to convince rather than ask those intriguing questions. I'm in favor of asking intriguing questions, but you know why? Because your conversations become a lot more hell of a fun and they become a lot more honest. I mean, you can see that right now. Like you can start seeing that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, even Jeff, who just joined us, can see that. Yeah. Uh, and it's a lot more fun and it's engaging and it's real and it's honest and it's refreshing for people. because they know that you're on their side. Okay. So again, the structure is to look at what you're avoiding. This is a bit of a trick because it takes a little bit of getting to really dig deep and look at some of your conversations in the past. And whenever you have that gut feeling you want to pay attention, something's off in this conversation. I'm not paying attention. All my attention's on myself. That should be a big sign for you. Ooh, I better stop now and start listening to them and asking questions. And it's okay to correct yourself midway. Say, guys, I've not been listening to you. I just realized. Can I ask you some questions? Because I'm very intrigued about what you just said. Tell me more about what you just said, like that where you feel stuck. What is that like? Why is that a problem? The best question is asked, why is that so? Why is that a problem? Oh, why is it so important to have that objective? Why is it critical for you? Oh, maybe it's not that critical. Oh, so then what is critical for you? Right? Okay. So again, what you want to identify what you're avoiding. That's the X in order to have Y. So that's one way to start observing what's not working. And then start looking at who you need to be, how you need to shift your way of being so that you can be engaged. Okay, more questions. Yeah, buts. Diane, you've been quiet. What questions do you have?
Um,
Let's try to
I don't,
customize it for you. Yeah.
well, I'm appreciating Henry saying that because I think the same thing happens to me. Like I get caught in my head of sort of like what's important, you know what I mean? What's important to and how to approach something and
Very good.
that kind of thing. So I'm actually looking forward to hearing more about your workshop coming up.
Yeah. Well, I'll share about the workshop. In fact, let's just do it right now. And then I promise you there's more juicy stuff to cover, okay? Because we are just beginning to scrape this mystery. Let me share the workshop with you guys. One second here. Get this out of the way. And let me put the website up here. So this is called the Joyful Sales Magic Workshop. It's 2 days. And it's at the end of August. And it's about getting paying clients boldly, honestly, gracefully, and effectively. So it's for people, business owners or people who are starting a business who face kind of like the two critical gaps that keep them from thriving, which is really having a good written up offer, which is what I promised by the end of the workshop. You'll have a written up offer, and then how to present it effectively. So you'll have an opportunity to get coached by me to get your offer done right, at least to a good level, okay, at least a decent level. So you get a written up offer, and you get to practice your offer with feedback. So it's really about having a compelling written offer and confident sales conversations. Uh, this is a this is a workshop that I work with, which is less to do with the technicalities of selling, which I do cover actually a bit, because I'm not just going to leave you with abstractions. But I'm also going to work on who you're being, so it's very experiential. Because I'm going to show you how I can sell for you. So some of you will have the opportunity to witness me selling your offer. And you'll be able to glean from how I do it, but how you can do it yourself. At the very base level, you steal some of my words, but more importantly, you steal my style, which you want to adapt to yourself. I'm going to share what are the questions you can ask to make your sales easy, joyful for you, not something you have to frown and think about, because the more you frown and the more you're in your head, the less you're going to sell. The more you're having fun, the more you're engaged, the more you're going to sell. So you're going to have an irresistible offer all written up, ready to go. And then we're going to get to practice these sales conversations. Probably the whole second day is dedicated to sales practice. the more you guys can practice with me, yourselves, the better you're going to get at this. So it's for ambitious and beginners, and I do mean ambitious. I mean, you got to have something at stake in the game, because there's going to be a lot of coaching. A lot of people come out of this workshop actually have a breakthrough in their own personal life. Because how you sell in a business, see, if you can be yourself when you sell, you can sell as yourself in your relationships without looking like you're selling. The best salespeople don't even look like they're selling. They're just being who they are. So I'm going to give you practical access to how you can be like that. So whether you're ambitious beginner or stuck but determined professionals already in business, this workshop will work for you. So um, contingent on you being coachable during the workshop, promise a sales freedom breakthrough where you release yourself from fear, self-doubt, guilt, frustration, overwhelm, and discover how selling can feel joyful and authentic. Some of you who have sales resistance, you're not getting out there making your sales calls, you're actually going to find yourself a lot more freed up to make these calls. So if you have any procrastination or resistance to picking up the phone to call people, the week following is probably going to be a breakthrough in your productivity to actually make those calls. Again, we'll work with me, you'll work with me and with other people in the group collectively to come up with a good written offer, complete and ready to use. A lot of people come out of the workshop and they start selling in that week itself. Some of you may be stuck at a price point. I'll help you increase that price point while you feel good about it. I come from a very encouraging place, not a forceful place. I'll let you choose where you want to land on your price point. But I'll help you stretch it a little bit. You'll have a lot of live practice and expert coaching. 80, my intention is to have 80% of it all be about coaching on the spot, experiential. So when you come out, you'll have an opportunity to really, really be well practiced. Okay. Why choose this workshop? A lot of people out there who teach are pretty committed, but you'll find for the price point I offer, you'll find very few people like me who bring a certain level of commitment that's not in your face, but supportive to make sure you get the results. Okay, of course, you have to bring yourself to the game as well. You have to be coachable, etc. Okay, no more ineffective training. If you're tired of trainers who don't listen or understand your unique situation, this workshop's built around that. So I'm limited at how many people I take. I tend to look at each person who enrolls. We already have 3 people enroll. I might cap it at 10 people. So I'm not trying to create stress or anything for you. I'm just saying what's so, okay? So I cap it at what I think would be the max I can do to deliver the results over 2 days. So the workshop details, this is done online. It's done by Zoom. It's on 2 days, Friday, August 29th and Saturday, August 30th. So from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You want to attend both days completely. Believe me, you want to do it because you want to, any schedule conflicts, you want to resolve them and just be there. Because I promise you'll have a really good time. A, and B, you'll learn more than you think you would in the area of sales. All times are in US Pacific time zone for 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. Of course, we'll have breaks and all that, if you want to register, I'll put the link to this here as well, so you can check out the information and decide for yourself. Okay, so this is the workshop link. And then if you want to learn more about the workshop and you have some questions or more questions about this, all of you, I think 2 of you are already signed up for a session with me. The rest of you want to sign up, that's fine. Please do register for a free session with me to answer all your questions, etc. Just a little bit about why I created this program. I've seen too many sales programs out there that don't teach what I do, and I believe what I teach really makes a more profound difference because it gets to the root source of why you're stuck. And I gave you a little bit of taste of that with the avoidance of X in order to get Y. Most of the time, if you give me your symptoms, I can tell you what you're avoiding and what you're trying to get to. And that's just the first stage. In the workshop, I'll show you how you can actually break out of that box. Okay, I can't do it in this short workshop in like today because it takes a bit of work to do that. And it occurs in a group dynamic. Okay. Um, what else? I mean, there's tons of testimonials here you'll see. In fact, if you go to my website and you go to About and click on testimonials, you see like about 200 testimonials there if you're concerned about my credibility. And so, the cost of the workshop is $500. If you need to work out payments, but you're really committed to being there, I'll work it out with you, but you need to talk with me. Okay. So you need to set up a time to do that. But the cost of the workshop is $500, which I think is a steal because if you look at, well, I don't know what your average price points are going to be, but if your price points are 2,500, for most of you, I don't know exactly what you're selling, but I think you're selling career coaching, Diane. And for Nelly, for sure, I mean, $2,500 price point is not out of the question. I think you can probably sell more like $5,000. If the offer is done right, it can be $5,000 for a 3-month to a 6-month program or even a 3-week program is not out of the realm of possibility. Okay. So that's the workshop. Okay, back to the Q&A. Any questions about this or yeah? Any other questions? Anything else you want to dig deeper into? Nelly or Diane? Yeah.
No, I want to dig into that 2-day workshop because I think it could help me a lot.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about it, but if you want to just register, go ahead and register.
Okay,
And, do it. I highly recommend it for you. Kind
thank
of
you.
know where you're at. And the same for Diane. Henry, I encourage you to do it because I know you're starting a business that may be a concern, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe you're inspired to do it. But I wish I learned all this before I started a business because I was doing door knocking in Irvine.
Right.
And I was doing like a 1 out of 100 convert. I was determined, but not very
Yeah.
effective. Yeah. So my mentor in 1991 was the first person to train me in all this. And then I
Mhm.
learned from him and I take it to a whole different level now. But I invite you, Henry, to do that. It'll be great to have you here. I can sense you're curious, and that curiosity is what you want to bring to your sales
Mhm.
conversations.
Yeah. I mean, it would be, yeah, just like, yeah, I really wanted to like be able to like, I really do want to like help people out. Like I know that like I have like a solution that can like help people out. It's just that it's just like a matter of like being able to being able to ooh, like just like get out of my shell really.
Yeah, yeah. See, getting out of the shell doesn't have to look like what you think it should look like.
Oh yeah.
It may be a lot easier. Almost always is. I thought getting out of my shell I had to be like someone jumping up and down on a stage or something.
Oh, right,
It
right.
doesn't have to be like that. You can be very kind of centered and grounded and sell really well.
Mm,
Most
nice.
people are not centered and grounded in their way of being. So the prospective client can kind of detect that, kind of sense something's off. You
Oh,
know
I
how they
see.
say, you can tell when someone's being themselves.
Hmm.
But the important thing is kind of define or more distinguish who you are. Because if
Right.
you know who you are, you can sell left, right, and center. It doesn't matter because you can be that everywhere you go.
Hmm.
Then you don't have to act. When you don't
Right.
have to act, the sales is easy. You don't even need a script.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think like what happens is because of like my day-to-day work, like I would like think in terms of like contingencies, try to like think of like all possibilities before like engaging. But then that like that distracts me from like just like simply being and just like being present and listening and like being able to just being able to like feel for like the conversation.
Yeah. No, very well said. You're a very generous human being. You know that?
Oh,
Because what you're sharing is what most other people are kind of afraid to share. I, I really hope you hear what I'm saying because that's a real hallmark of a good salesperson.
oh, oh,
You're actually so in the listening that you don't realize you're in the listening right now because your concern is kind of overriding what's actually a piece of gold for you.
oh, really?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You said it already. You have a desire to make a difference for people, but your sharing is kind of keen because everyone else here has that concern, I can guarantee you.
mhm.
So like your concern is that you gotta kind of got to have all your bases covered so you can really help this person.
Mhm.
So it's almost like you want to avoid making any mistakes
Uh,
or failing to convey what you need to convey
mhm,
in order to help this person. But your desire to help this person is very strong. It's right there. I can feel it.
mhm.
But I can also feel you avoiding failure.
Uh, oh yeah, yeah. It's because I'm like attached to like a very like particular outcomes rather than like letting the interaction like organically happen.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad start, letting it organically happen. But over time, what you'll discover is the art and science of kind of guiding the conversation as well in a good way that serves the person.
Oh yeah, and in like a softer way, because like I think in a lot of my conversations, like I can come across as like too forceful, as I've said before.
Yeah, that happens even to the best of people. There's a guy I'm coaching right now. He was brought up in a very rigid kind of way, but he has a heart of gold. He's of the Hebrew religion and he's devoutly about making a difference for people. But because he tries to avoid making mistakes and being thought of as a stupid person in the sales meetings, he looks so rigid that people don't want to do business with him. Can you see
Ah,
that? Yeah.
yeah,
Kind of crazy, isn't it? That we are kind of crazy human beings. Unnecessarily so, you see?
yeah. This like as much as you said that like we shouldn't be like creating like problems for like the client, we should also not be creating problems for ourselves.
Yeah. Once you get this, you don't have to do that anymore. It's kind of like a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Mm.
You see,
And
I don't have a script in everything I'm saying. I'm not, I'm just completely being with you right now.
right.
That's how you want to be, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Terry Jacobs, I haven't heard from you. Anything you'd like to share, Terry? Come on, Terry. Okay. Um, okay. Very good work, Henry. Would you
Oh,
like to do the
thank you.
workshop?
I would very much like to do the workshop. Um, I think, yeah, I mean, like, I guess, like, yeah, I'll go ahead. Like, yeah, I'm very much like wanting to like do the workshop. Um, like, so yeah, like the $500 does feel like a lot, but I also, but then like, I guess like it kind of goes back to like me wanting like a very particular outcomes like that I would like gain value from this.
So what outcomes would you like to have?
The
By
outcome
the way,
to
I'm
just
I'm I'm doing a whole role play for you guys here, right? Yeah. Yeah. So what
uh,
outcomes would you like?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like being more like communicating to like other people that I do actually want to like help them, not be a lot less, be a bit more rigid, but then also like appreciating like the strengths that I do have in like communicating with people, um, and just I guess like being able to like flow more easily in like in like a conversation and like and talking with clients.
And if you had that ease, how would your life transform?
Uh, well, first off, it would be a lot more fun. Like it wouldn't have to like feel like I'm like fulfilling like a to-do list. I can actually, I would, I'm thinking I'm thinking it would like be more dynamic. I can like be more present in the moment and like a genuine and like a just like being able to like convince fully like understanding that I'm actually providing value to people.
Yeah. And if you had that, what kind of extraordinary specific results in money or time
Yeah.
or yeah, breakthroughs would you have? Like what could be an extraordinary result out of that?
Uh, I mean, like uh, just like making it for like the yeah. I mean, like I guess like I would like just genuinely like making a difference in like other people's lives, like significantly like helping them make money as well.
And what
Uh,
if you can help 20 people in the next 6 months make maybe 5 times more than what they're making right now? I'm just making these numbers up. Yeah.
oh, that'd be amazing. It would make me feel like justified in like presenting like the service that I want to that I want to provide.
Yeah. So the question for you is, and only you can answer this. And by the way, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to corner you or anything. I'm no interest in
Oh
that.
yeah,
I want you to choose freely for yourself because I want you to have fun in this workshop,
oh yeah,
So, if you had that, would it be worth $500 and 2 days of your time?
oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did that for two purposes. One is to enroll Henry as best as I could into the workshop, but
Yeah.
also to give you all an example of how this can work.
Mm.
Now, there are ways I could have done that better, but it's what I have right now. I got to save it all for the workshop. But it's the art and science of asking questions, what I really want to leave you guys with. Okay. And that's what you have an opportunity to have a breakthrough with in the workshop on August 29th and 30th. So I invite you, Henry, to register from that place, from having fun and having a breakthrough in your life. And I do mean that. I think you feel me, right? I'm not someone who's going to just leave you hanging. I promise you,
Yeah.
you'll have that. If you're coachable, I promise you, you'll have that result.
Mm. Okay.
And I
Yeah.
stand by
Well,
my, if you look at my testimonials, you see a lot of promise making. I promise people results and I deliver.
okay.
So I invite you from that place, okay? As from an honorable place of having fun and being engaging. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Any comments? Uh,
I'm in.
you're in? All right, great. You signed up for the workshop?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I need it.
You don't really need it, but I get it.
Okay, thank you.
I do get it. I'm not going to argue with you.
Because I'm going to get high-paying clients from my confidence in working with you.
Yeah, if I remember right, your offer could easily be sold for 5,000 probably, if I remember right. I mean, baseline 2,500.
Yeah, it's going to be an 8-week course and coaching program.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the return on investment is several factors of 2,500 or 5,000 even.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I love it. But my hesitation is I've been working with a networking group that promotes $500, $2,000. If you're gonna do more than 2,500, you want to do an all day or a weekend thing, and I'm not going to do that. It's going to
oh,
be once a week,
yeah.
8 weeks.
Well, we'll have to find you another place to network
Thank you.
because you're outgrowing your
Perhaps,
previous community, perhaps. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
not saying you're going to leave them alone, but
no, but
you're,
expand my
yeah, you're
boundaries.
growing, you see.
Thank you.
You're growing, and that's good. It's always good to grow.
Yeah,
Um, well done.
thank you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Henry? Yeah.
Well, I think yeah. I yeah. I just signed up. Uh, yeah. I see this as like a see this as an investment on like who I could be, like it becoming, and like just being able to like yeah, like being able to like provide connect with people and like provide the yeah provide like the service provide the
I
services that
I
like
hear both
yeah.
your servants' heart.
Thank you.
I really honor that. And I don't want to step over this. Okay. I know I'm kind of interjecting, interrupting you, but it's too good to share because what can I say about it that's not contrived? But truthful. It's a pleasure and honor to serve people like you who are genuinely out there to make a difference for people. So thank you. And Henry, are you in the AI space? Is that what you do?
Uh, yeah, like that's actually like yeah. So that yeah, AI sort of like factors into who like the product that I'm trying to develop
Okay.
and
Okay.
the process of developing that.
Okay. All right. I'm excited to talk more about that with you at the workshop, or if you want to sign up for a discovery session, happy to do that with you too. Okay. So if you want to do that, we can start your process early. So go
Okay.
ahead and sign up for the discovery session as well, and
Okay.
we'll get going. Okay. I tell people your workshop begins the moment you register.
Thank you.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you.
So, all right. Well, it's a pleasure to serve all of you. Terry, just a last call for you to give you a chance. Any questions for you, Terry? Dear kind Terry, anything for you? Going once, twice, three times, lady. All right. It's a pleasure to serve all of you. Those of you listening onto the recording, good of you to be here listening to the recording. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye bye, everybody.